What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam from Podcasting Business School, and I'm here with another podcast audit episode. My brand new pod pal, Alessandro from the Fresco Village podcast, and we are going to help him get his show up and running here. So, Alessandro, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Hello, everybody. Thanks for your time, mate.
All right. So, you are getting ready to launch a show called Fresco Village. Tell us a little bit about your goals for the show, who the ideal listener is, things like that.
Yeah. Well, basically, in the last year, I start to collaborate with web radio in London, and I just did twice amount like a mixtape. Then in the last week, the guys proposed me to launch my personal podcast. And regarding music, I'm also involved like with as a journalist and with other web radio in Italy, and also going to showcase and discovery festival. So this name like pop up on my mind, like Fresco Village sounds like should be like a stop around the corner, connecting the new artists I used to listen, or I receive every day tons of email with new music and new song, and also connecting with the music curator as well, because this is another network I'm involved in, so trying to proposing one of the most, for me, exciting singles to both audience, like, so music curator and also connecting new bands. Some of them in the past, I used to organize also some tour in Europe and Italy. So
Okay.
it's, the main, I mean, this idea really excite me. So it's just
Yeah.
like now trying to
Okay.
gather many insight or, feedback before to launch the show.
Okay. So this show is for musicians, correct? Like this for
Yes,
musicians to listen to.
it's basically for musicians, but also for could be also music creator, so but
Okay.
basically, yeah, for musicians, yeah.
And okay. And are you going to be featuring their music, or are you going to be talking to them and interviewing them as musicians?
No, the idea, to make an interview, it's not really for me into this format. It will be more like a mixtape mixed with some, words for very short notice the band. So not really. So it would be around mostly every episode. For example, a region or a country, like for example saying Belgium and Netherlands, saying, or Balkans and so on. So it would be really a few words before the singles, so not interview at all.
Okay. Okay. So I got it now. So you'll have a little bit of an introduction from you telling about where the music or the musicians are coming from, a little bit of a preview, and then a mixtape that you've created with the music so that they have an opportunity to be spotlighted and be featured on your platform. Is that sounding correct?
Yes. The other thing I will add in a mixtape, it's a story. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You cut out just a little bit.
Okay. So, yeah, I was just saying that, I will also put in the mixtape some single from established band PR. So it would be also, just a mix like, hey guys, you are starting that way, before you, and they became hype and so on. So 80% would be like pretty new band, and 20% would be, this band already around for a couple of years and already with the hype and an
Okay.
audience.
So I think I've got a pretty good picture of who you're trying to reach, what you're trying to create here. The first thing I would look at is the most important thing with podcast search engine optimization is the name of the show. And so I think Fresco Village is a cool name, but we need to add something to it as kind of a subtitle so that the right people are able to find it. So really, I mean, I think the show is for musicians, but it's also for music consumers that are looking to discover new artists. Does that feel correct? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So I think something along the lines of Fresco Village, um, the word music needs to be in there somewhere because people will be searching. Uh, so Fresco Village, weekly new music features, or from around the world, or something like that. Like if we get the word
Yeah,
music, or discover new musicians, discovering new artists each week from around the world, something like that. Music, artists, musicians. If you can put any of those words in the title as an extension, that's going to help the right people to find your show and then identify with it and go, okay, this is the show for me. And so you feel like
yeah.
you wouldn't have any problems with finding artists to feature or anything like that, because you're just getting bombarded with people that are sending you music anyway. Is that correct? Okay, cool. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So as far as launching the show, what questions do you have, or what's confusing as far as making a podcast live?
Yeah, like for example, uh, what's the best channel? I mean, like, of course, the show would be on basically on the blog and on the site of this web radio, but I want to take care also of myself and mm, start to realize which are the best channel to launch on my own.
Yeah. So when you start a podcast, the way it works is you create the audio. So you have the audio file, and then we want to take that audio file and save it into a podcast host. There's a few different host platforms. I use Libsyn. Buzzsprout is another one. Spotify has its own hosting service, which I don't really recommend them, but it's an option. So you upload the audio into the host, and then the host distributes it out into Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Google Podcasts, you like all those different places. So you don't really have to pick a channel; you have to pick a host, and that'll range from free to $20 or $25 a month. It's not very expensive, but that's where all your analytics are tracked. So you'll be able to tell how many downloads each episode gets, what countries those downloads are coming from, what platform they're coming from. Are they coming from web radio? Are they coming from Apple? Are they coming from Spotify? So that is kind of the next key decision I see you making, is like which host to use. And like I said, I like Libsyn, Libsyn, and Buzzsprout. Those are the two. They've been around the longest. They're very reliable. They're easy to use, great analytics, great distribution. And that way it goes everywhere that it needs to be via that one. And then you just upload new music into the host, and it just automatically, it's like a conveyor belt. Create new music, put it in the host, it goes out every single time. You can schedule your episodes in advance so that you have weekly episode drops, and you can batch record and have it so you don't have to record every single week yourself as far as creating new content goes. But yeah, that's kind of the next step as far as picking which host that distributes to all the channels. Does that make sense, Alessandro?
Absolutely helpful. Yes, absolutely. I think I will do that. So thanks for this. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just go ahead and finish because I have another question.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Fire away with your next question.
Yeah, like I was thinking if it's could be useful for me, like as I have also like a small network of PR and journalists to do a kind of I would say like press release for the show, and just, I have my own small community with newsletter and say, hey guys, until now we were in touch for this, but for next month. So what do you think about that?
Yes, I think this is a fantastic idea. If you have access to any sort of press, doing a press release, just doing an announcement that you're creating this new type of show where you're featuring artists from around the world, different styles of music, who can get involved and what it's going to be all about. I think that is a brilliant idea. And if you have resources and connections already built in, and then like promotion wise, promote to your email list the week that the show goes live, social media, promote there. If you've got other media outlets, promote it everywhere that you can. And I'd recommend about a 3-week, maybe even 4-week, fairly heavy promotion period on social media with your connections, with your own email list, things like that, where I like the week before it goes live, kind of getting people excited about it, starting to kind of drip some content out there, let people know, hey, this is coming. Then the week that you launch the show, I love doing contests and giveaways and really like do some neat things. One of my favorite contests to do is to have people, wherever they're listening to it, take a screenshot on their phone and then share it on social media and tag you and be entered to win some merchandise or a shirt or an autographed poster of Alessandra or whatever you want to do. You could shave off some of your hair and put it in a bag and send it to them. I don't know, like whatever you want to do,
Yeah,
just to,
yeah.
to make them feel
No,
special.
sounds cool. Yeah,
Yeah. And then I would
absolutely.
continue to promote it for a couple of weeks after launch week and just kind of um, continuing to drip it out, let people know this is new, this is exciting. There's a new show out there, and here are your features. So, a solid month of pre-promotion, launch week promotion, and then post-promotion, just to get people a taste of what you're putting out there, who it's for, why they should be listening to it. But yes, a press release, I would do that during launch week, like after you have episodes live, and so I'll stop there. Does that make sense with that strategy?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like, I feeling now like I was having this idea, but just you now helping me to, make kind of order. So that's really important. So
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah,
Now,
thanks.
one other tip for launch week is I recommend having 4 episodes loaded up in your podcast host and live all at once. So episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 separate episodes ready to go and accessible during that first week. And that way, it's like back in the 90s when you bought a CD, you didn't like all the songs, but you bought the CD because there were like 4 of them that you really liked out of the 13 or whatever. So we want to have multiple options and some different flavors, different types of music, some different regions maybe. And they'll maybe start with episode 3 because they're like, wow, I'm from Belgium, and they're featuring some new bands from Belgium, so I'm going to check that one out. And then they'll go back to some different regions on episode 1, 2, and 4 once they discover, oh, this is really cool. This is a neat concept. So give them 4 different flavors, 4 different regions, 4 different styles of music, and allow them to sample what you're putting out there as a show. And then you want to start regular, I recommend once or twice per week episode drops consistently week after week. And that's kind of the cadence that we shoot for. Is that any questions about that?
No, no, no. It's also a useful thing. I will put a note, on my little like just old style like on this. So yeah. No, I just was thinking another thing about when you speak about host, no, and then the channel to distribute. Of course, they include like Mixcloud and Spreaker or not. Like, or do I
Yes.
have to charge separately? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. All
Okay,
that's
that's
included.
another
Yeah.
good point. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to distribution from your host,
Okay. Okay.
that's why it's good to have a good quality podcast host, because they make it very easy. And there's just a checklist where you go in and check boxes and say, add Spreaker, add, Overcast, add Google Podcasts, add Spotify, and you just check all the boxes, hit add, and then it goes. And then if any new podcast player apps are developed in foreign countries or wherever, you'll get an email saying, hey, there's a new podcast player app called Ghana from India that you should probably add to your host. And then you just add it and it goes. But yeah, there's nothing that I've ever had to pay for as far as platforms. The nice thing is we're creating content. It's like YouTube. YouTube wants our videos. They want our content, and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all these podcast player apps, they want our content. So they're not going to charge us to create content on their platform, because they're going to run ads or do whatever it is that they do on that platform. So yeah, that's a really good question. Now, how long do you expect each episode to be? Like, how much music are you putting in there?
Well, I could do like even like 3 hours per day only music, but just kidding. My idea is around like yeah, like man, like many single receive every day. But I was thinking around like 40, 45 minutes, I think.
Perfect.
But I'm not really sure, like because um, I remember years ago I was reading this interview or Radiohead, the band, they would say like best albums is like 40 minutes. It's just the average itinerary people do, like from home to the office. So
Right.
a part of this, yes, it's in general when I used to listen myself, even one of the best DJ from wherever podcast or I don't know. After 30 minutes, I start to feel like good stuff, but I have to go. So I don't know. What do you think about this?
Yeah. Okay. This gave me a couple ideas. I think that 30 to 45 minutes is a nice range. I also kind of like the idea of you having some audio from you to introduce the play set for each episode. But I think it would be neat for you to make a recommendation of what they should be doing when they listen to this set. Like, maybe it's a relaxing at home set. Maybe you should listen to this one while you work out. Maybe you should listen to this one while you're contemplating something important and going on a walk. Or if you need to calm down, this is a great set to listen to. Just kind of giving some insight like that. I think that would be neat. It's almost like when you go and drink wine and the guy tells you what food to pair it with or whatever. It's kind of like you're pairing the set list with different life circumstances. Like, I listened to this. I just listened to this one while I went on a walk, while I worked out, and it was a great set list to listen to. Or if you've just recently broken up with your significant other, this is the breakup set list that or whatever. So or if there's just a certain
Yeah.
vibe, I think that would be cool. And also, I was thinking with your very first episode of the show, I wouldn't include any music at all. I would do a short episode that's just about you and your background and the industry, and just let people kind of get some buy-in to you and your story and how it connects to everything that you're doing. So I would, even if it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just introduce yourself, talk about your background, talk about why you're passionate about music, what your goals are for the show, what people can expect from the show, how can people get in touch with you if they want to submit music, and just make it all about that. And then put out 3 episodes for your launch week that are the actual regular episode format. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a very good tip. The amount of words, like the voice can be used as an instrument, and can be changed. And for the first episode, it's good. Maybe having only the singles, not really to listen, just a few. The rest can be on the background, for the
Yeah.
climax and so on, and then explain more about hey guys, like for why I'm launching this podcast. Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. That way they'll kind of buy into you as the host too, as the DJ, as the person leading the musical journey. So I think that'll be good. Now we got time for one more question. Do you have any other questions that you want to cover with your launch?
No, really. Like I feel like these 2 or 3 things really cleared my mind. So thank you.
Good.
Thanks for your time.
Good. So I think really focusing on adding a little bit to the name and then setting up 4 episodes for launch, and then doing the first episode that's really more about you. I think that's definitely gonna help you out. And I'll look forward to checking out the first 4 episodes when you do your launch week. So, do you have a website or an email or a social media address that you want to promote, if people want to submit music or get in touch with you about the show?
Uh, I mean, for now, no, I didn't set any really, like, I have few blogs I write on, but let's keep this for, our next maybe video call or interview around Christmas time. What do you think about? When
Cool.
I
All right.
already launched like a few episodes. Okay. So thank
That
you. Thanks.
sounds
Really appreciate.
fantastic. All right. And if all of you that are tuning in want to do a podcast audit, just like my new pod pal, Alessandro, just head on over to the website, www.podcastingbusiness.school. And with that, I'm going to send you out into the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see everybody next time.